Now, how did all this come about? When I was hired as the director of the Poinet Library back in January, I felt that our library needed an identity. And I also wanted to have a column in the newspaper that would keep people abreast of things that were happening in the community. So I woke up in the middle of the night one night and I thought, well, what would be a good mascot? What would be a good name? And I came up with the idea of Library Lynx because of the links that I thought they had at the Mackenzie Center, and because I wanted the library to link people in the community, not just to the books and the resources that we have in the library, but also to each other. I felt that the library could be a factor in bringing the community together and linking us all in new and favorable ways. So I kind of ran the idea past a lot of people. You know, what do you think about me calling the article Library Lynx and us having Lynx as our mascot? And yeah, they thought that was pretty good. One day, Alex Britzius came into the library, and I said to him, yeah, you have a Lynx at the Mackenzie Center, and I'm going to call my column Library Lynx, and we're going to have that as our mascot, and this summer we'll have the summer library kids name the Lynx, and it'll be a nice connection because we're an educating institution and the Mackenzie Center is an educating institution. Both of us are treasures in the Poinet community. And he's shaking his head. I said, what? We don't have a Lynx at the Mackenzie Center. I said, oh no, that can't be true. You know, this whole thing that I planned is there's an empty enclosure there? And he said, yeah. And I said, wow. And the ticking went away in my head. What about if we had a penny drive and raised enough money to fill that Lynx enclosure? What do you think? And he said, well, contact Derek Duane and see what he thinks. He's the director of the Mackenzie Center. And I said, well, if you could kind of maybe drop a hint to him so that I'm not just coming out of the blue with this. And shortly thereafter, we were able to get in touch and set a time for a meeting. And that was on May 5th. And I sat down with Mr. Duane and with Dan Motz, who is the wildlife biologist here. And we hatched our plan, and in that same time, on that exact same day, one of these Lynx kittens was born. So how much of a coincidence could that be? That one of the Lynx kittens that was destined to be here, to help draw our community together, to strengthen those links between the Poinet area community and the Mackenzie Center, and the people in the community, was born that exact same day. And that, I get choked up whenever I think about that, because that is absolutely an unbelievable event. So we started having a fundraiser. I put jars around different places. Different patrons made suggestions for ways that we could make some extra money, like selling brownies after one of our library events, and having a silent jewelry auction. Many, many ideas, many people contributed to where we are today, right now.
I got a call from Chris saying we met our goal, we need a Lynx. And I'd been making phone call after phone call after phone call trying to find a Lynx. And up until that time it was nothing. So I started digging as deep as I could into my records for any possible contacts. And I made a call up to Peck's Wildwood Park in Minocqua and asked if they had a Lynx, and they said, no, but I know of somebody in upper Minnesota that has them. I said, yes. So I made that phone call and got a reply the next day, and yes, he had 2 baby Lynx. And I said, wonderful. But he said, but they're very expensive. Now, all along we'd figured $1,000 to $2,000 tops for a Lynx. But because it's so difficult finding native Wisconsin animals, the price has gone through the roof. And he said that they're only $1,500 a piece. I'm like, oh boy. I know the library had met their goal and had $2,000 for us. So my first thought was to call the Friends of Mackenzie Center. And I called Barney Lohan, and all he said was just take them. Just take them. That's all I needed to make the call and confirm the deal.
I was in Minneapolis anyway, and I was going to bring the cat, but then we decided we wanted to get it back here right away, so I drove with my grandson to Clearwater, Minnesota, and picked up the 2 cats. Derek met us at my son's house in Minneapolis, or Eden Prairie, Minnesota, and we were going to exchange the cats there. One of the cats had a really bad nervous accident in the crate as we were pulling up, and they weren't really happy when we, they growl and everything. So, right there, you look like you just pet him, right? Yeah. Don't think about it. Yeah. Well, anyway, we took the top of the cage off, figuring he wouldn't even come out, the little guy, and he was out and going in the house. Oh. And thank God we put the dogs out on the deck, and all they did was sit there and watch him go around like this. But jump, I've seen a cat jump as high as he could jump. So we finally got him, and we were holding him by the tuft. Derek's wife was. And we got the cage cleaned out, and we were going to put him back in, and she says, here, you lift him and put him in. So I grabbed him by the scuff of the neck, and he let me know that he has a lot of claws. I have a good one here, ripped the shirt, scratches all over. So he didn't want me to be with him at all, and I really didn't. After that, I didn't want to be near him either. But they look so cuddly, but they're not. They are, they're wild animals.
When Dan released these kittens last evening, this one right here, I believe, made a beeline into the back pen and met up with the mountain lion. The mountain lion just sat there, and the little cat thought he was really big, and he was hissing and growling and posturing, and he was ready to take on the mountain lion. But, certainly in the wild, you wouldn't find mountain lions and lynxes and bobcats cohabitating. These pens are specifically built like this so a person can come in, learn about each individual animal, and then see the differences in those animals. They are all native to Wisconsin, but we don't see them anymore.